What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Chuck Silver and Smitty here to bring you strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel from Occupy Fantasy, of course. Smitty, we had a rough day yesterday. I think the model was super on point, except for the number one play, which was Jabari Smith, who scored 7.5 fantasy points. But other than that, we've been crushing it lately. Today, we have a good one. We got 4 games right at lock. It starts an hour earlier, which is kind of annoying. And then we have an island game 2.5 hours after the game before that locks. But, it's Sunday. It's a nice day. We're going to deal with it. Smitty, how we doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Jabari was pretty rough yesterday, but overall, I still had an okay day on DraftKings. But either way, I think this slate's pretty crazy with 4 games locking right away, but uh, we should be able to handle it.
Yeah, you had a pretty fifth place finish for a good score.
Yeah, probably would have won if it wasn't for a blowout in the Portland game, but it's okay.
Yeah, that lineup had Tumani Kamara, who I pointed him out as like a ceiling play, and he ended up being kind of chalky, but he went off. He was necessary yesterday. Avdia scored all his fantasy points in the first quarter. I don't know if he scored any after that, and then Klingon can't keep his hands to himself. He did lose that last rotation due to blowout, but overall, it worked out. I mean, we don't expect Portland to win by 50, so.
Yep.
What's up, Heath? Happy Sunday. The Prince got whipped yesterday. Yeah, I think yesterday was my worst day of 2025. It's unfortunate. What's up, stud? Jabari Smith, man. It's like, man, it's just, we were so on point yesterday, except for, one of the highest exposed players in our exposures. It's just, sometimes it be like that, but what do we got? We got the Mavericks playing the Warriors right now. Looks like the Warriors are going to win by 100. Lost 200 yesterday. I wish I only lost 200 yesterday. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this first game. We got 4 in the first window. Let's start with Detroit. Cade Cunningham, top of the model, playing against Atlanta. We got Trae Young, 4th on the model, so he's a good play today. He is pulling ownership. I know it's kind of like, man, Trae's awful sometimes, but the model does like him today, so I think we can get there. We'll start with Detroit, though. Other than Cade being at the top, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, I think Asar is interesting. We only have him for 25 minutes, but this is a close spread, and they've shown that they're willing to play him more. Now coming out of the All-Star break, I think he could be ramped up even more. So I like getting to more Asar than the field. And then Jalen Duren, someone I don't mind taking shots on ever. He has a ceiling, and going against the Hawks, they're pretty bad defensively against bigs.
I like it. Yeah, he went off last time. Nick loved Duren, and yeah, he ended up doing a decent ownership. Model loves him today. Elite value. 9.9 OF index at his price is pretty strong, sub 10% ownership. Asar Thompson, I have trouble playing him. I kept him what I was getting last time, and he ended up doing it. It's kind of uncomfortable, only projected for 25 minutes, but remember, he's supposed to be better than his brother, so I think we can still get there as a little piece of value, but 12 and 6% ownership isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on Detroit?
No, not really. I have one lineup sprinkled with Tim Hardaway Jr., but that's pretty much it. Not really necessary.
Hardaway's under 10.5 points was one of my favorite prop bets today. So hopefully he doesn't score 11.
I better cross him out.
I am getting a couple percent of Tim Hardaway over on DraftKings. So remember, he does have that, I don't know, value ceiling, I guess. Other side of the game, Atlanta. I already mentioned Trae Young's pretty close to the top of the model. Dyson Daniels, we still like Dyson Daniels, 9.9 OF index, very strong value on DK at only 6,800. He is chalk. Okongwu with Capella back. Capella's only projected for 18. Okongwu for 29. I don't know. His price is back down to 6,100. I think the ownership is slightly high, though, with that situation. And then Karras, I'm looking at as like a, I don't know, deep GPP play. What else are you seeing here?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I don't mind getting to a little bit of Niang as value on a slate where we don't have a ton of really great value. I think Niang makes sense. Someone with a ceiling, and then I have a few percent of Ricochet. Not like a crazy feeling about it, but I think Dyson's my favorite play from here. I have more than the field on both sides currently, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty over on Dyson. I'm only playing on DK today. I think Smitty has FanDuel covered for you guys. So, and then Ricochet and Niang showing up as the top values on this team by quite a bit. Very strong on FanDuel too, actually, and the ownership isn't like egregious or anything. I'm over the field on Niang by quite a bit, and then On Ricochet, I'm just barely over the 7% of the slate started right now, but I do like getting to those two guys. Niang in particular is pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
My problem with Ricochet, we only have him projected for 25 minutes, but he's been like a. I mean, I was talking about it yesterday about like median projection versus ceiling. And I think Ricochet's median projection is actually okay at 4,500. But just how often are we getting the ceiling from him is my question. And he did only get the 24 minutes, shot 4 for 15, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of hard. Just they added a few more bodies too, even though they lost some. They gained Terrence Mann, Niang, and then they've also been given Gaia minutes. So his minute ceiling just kind of took a little hit.
What are we expecting the starting lineup here to be? Mohamed Gaye or Niang?
Yeah, probably Gaia.
Okay. If Niang starts, he's going to look much, much better. Like 17% off the bench for Niang. It is kind of high, but the model likes it at 26 minutes. 26 might be kind of a high projection.
Yeah, yeah. This is a 240 total, so pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Cade is definitely my top play from this game, but I mean, percentage wise, I'm getting more of Dyson, Trey Young, and Okongwu actually than Cade Cunningham, though, even though Cade's the top play on the model. Maybe we just need to find him a couple more pieces of value.
Yeah, I am too. I kind of want to get to less Okongwu than I'm currently getting though.
Me too. Yeah, it's just, I mean, we have him 29 minutes, Capella for 19. It's basically 48, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough. Kongwu on DraftKings like 6,100 isn't too bad, and he does have the power forward eligibility on FanDuel, but I don't know. We know he has a ceiling, and so it's not a bad play. Model's okay with it. It's good. Jayhawk, how we doing? Power. There's a ringing sound in the audio lately. I feel like I heard that mentioned before. We'll try to figure that out. Thanks for letting us know. Felt good because you rostered Kamara. Yeah, that was a smart swap because the obvious ones were Klingon and Avdia, right? Which, I mean, they were still good plays even though they didn't work out. But Kamara and Jeremy Grant, dude, we ragged on him, but he did it. He was in the 100K winning lineup last night. I think Aaron Gordon was too. You're never playing Jokic again? Do the Nuggets play tomorrow? Wait till tomorrow. Tim Hard go away. I mean, kind of looks like there's a couch on or there's a huge cat on my couch. Nice, dude. This is for sure my living room, my real living room too. Yeah, something ringing in the background. I don't know what that is. I turned off my background noise. I'll watch the playback after. I hope it's not too hard to watch the stream right now. Sorry about that, fellas. Next game, Phoenix Toronto. On the Phoenix side, I don't know that I'm looking too much at the top end guys. I have some interest in the mid range here. What do you like from Phoenix?
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm not really getting to any Bradley Bill or not Bradley Bill, Durant or KD or my goodness, KD or Booker, but I am getting to some Bradley Bill. I like him at 6,100 shooting guard, small forward on DraftKings. FanDuel, I'm not really getting there, but Royce O'Neal is also showing up for me. Small forward, power forward. If he starts again, I think he's okay as
Uh-oh.
well.
Are we good? I cut out for a second, but
Yeah.
he says the stream sounds fine. I'll watch it after and see if I can figure it out. It's probably on me because I think that came up when I was on the other day too. But Bradley Beal, 38, 33, 29, 38 minutes over the last 4. He's been fantastic. For value, model thinks he's elite on both sites. 10% ownership is pretty appealing. I'm well over that right now over on DK. And then the other guy I'm over on right now is Royce O'Neal. Top DK value in the model. I don't know that I'm going to keep what I have, but he is projected to be kind of chalky over on DK. I like getting there. And then, yeah, KD and Devin Booker kind of just pay up tournament shots, I think.
Yep, definitely.
Tyus kind of fell off, huh? He's just not getting the minutes.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, he's been losing some rotations. Yeah, 20 and 23. It's a lot different than 33, so I don't know that we can even take that risk today. We have Cole Anthony on the slate.
And Bol just kind of went away.
Yeah, Bull, they're like, oh, we're going to ride it. And then next game, he's out of the starting lineup. And it's like, all right, so that was a lie. Other side of this game, Toronto, though. It's only a 2 point spread. 229 total is solid. We got our boy Grady Dick at the top of value for Toronto. Orlando Robinson, 41% projected ownership at 3,600. Yakapurtle got ruled out like an hour ago. And remember, Kelly Olynyk's not here anymore. Orlando Robinson did fine last time. I thought he was a fine pivot. I think he outscored whoever the guy we played the most of, though. And then we do have quickly RJ Barrett and Scotty. I'm interested in Barrett and quickly. I guess I have interest in Scotty too, but what are you looking at here?
Yeah, I like RJ Barrett the most out of this team. Just priced the best on DraftKings specifically. And then quickly, I don't mind getting there. He's kind of a mid-range guard. And then Grady Dick, I'm currently with the field. The model thinks he's the best value from the team, so maybe someone I need to bump up a little bit. And then Scotty Barnes, just kind of fine on FanDuel. I'm getting to a little bit more, but so is the field.
Were you getting to any Orlando on FanDuel?
Yeah, I have. I'm a little under the field. I have 20% right now, but I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more. I mean, he's almost min price.
Yeah, it's like he only put up 20.75 fantasy points last time, right? And his price actually came down, which is really dumb. Especially this is an easier matchup than Miami, but he played 31 minutes. I think this was a really bad game from him. Like this might be one of the worst games he's ever had where he got 31 minutes for fantasy purposes anyway. And so even though he's chalk, models into it, I think we gotta play him today.
Yep.
Especially on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's a different conversation, but DraftKings, very solid play. I'm not going to try to get away from him. Next game, we got Miami and Milwaukee. 6 point spread. Milwaukee's the favorite, 222 total. So Milwaukee was 2.5 point favorites against Washington the other day. I don't think Dame played, but now they're 6 point favorites against Miami. Doesn't make sense. But Wiggins, top value on this team, doesn't really stand out overall on the slate. We got Harrow and Bam as pay up GPP options, but what are you looking at here?
Yeah, it's mainly Wiggins for me. He's
Mm-hmm.
been getting the minutes now with Spolstra instead of being with Steve Kerr, so that's helped him a lot. But that's pretty much all I'm getting. I don't mind taking shots on like a Hero or Bam, but Andrew Wiggins is probably the only one I'll have double digit percentage of.
Nice. Yeah, Wiggins is the only guy that I'm at 10%, 6% Harrow, and then a couple percent of the other guys. I am getting a little Davion. Minutes have been there. He just is not a great producer, but he is a pivot to some of those other cheap guys that we'll talk about.
Yeah, yeah, the minutes have been there for him, so I'm fine.
Other side of this game, Milwaukee. We got word that Giannis's minutes limit will be raised. I think he played 24 last game. We gave him 29. Yeah, we gave him about 29. That sounds about right. He's 11,000. I don't think he's playable today at 29 minutes. But Dame is back. Kyle Kuzma's been getting pretty heavy minutes. Price is way up. Wow. And then Brook Lopez has been fantastic without Bobby Portis. So what are you looking at on Milwaukee?
Yeah, on DraftKings, I actually have zero exposure to this team, but on FanDuel, I have a little bit. I think Kuzma is pretty interesting in GPPs as well as Dame. And then Brooks, just kind of a center option you can mix in that has a high ceiling when the minutes are there. Not the best matchup ever, but I still don't mind getting to some Brook.
Yeah, I think Brook Lopez is the only guy because I also have zero exposure to Milwaukee right now in DraftKings. I think Brook is the only guy that's even within the realm of making it into my lineups. Sorry, like Dame, I'd have to bump by 5. I have to give him like 40 minutes to get any of him. Kuzma, I'd have to give like 72 minutes to get a decent amount of him. So yeah, I don't know. Milwaukee seems fine to fade. Model doesn't have anyone above a 13 points per dollar value on DK. And then on FanDuel, it does think Torian Prince is okay. So maybe that's a spot if you're on FanDuel today. But other than that, saying we can just full fade Milwaukee.
Yep.
This game is so interesting to me. Washington, Orlando. Let's start with the Orlando side. So we got a 13-point spread, 216 total. It's awful, right? Washington, I called them the worst team in the NBA the other day. They probably are. Orlando is not the Orlando that we knew from the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's Jalen Suggs making that big of a difference or what. And so we got heavy ownership coming to Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter. Those are the two spots I'm most interested in. We obviously have Paolo and Franz as a GPP pay ups. So between these guys, what are you doing with their exposures here?
Yeah. It's pretty tough. I think I have more Palo as of right now than I do Franz. But like you said, Wendell Carter and Cole Anthony are my two highest exposed from here. I'm trying to split up my Palo and Franz somewhat evenly, but I do prefer Palo. And you also save 200 there. The model also thinks he's better points per dollar.
Yeah, model has Paolo over Franz. Both neither of them elite point per dollar plays. Both of them 10.5 OF index though, so they're fine to pay up for. I do have more Paolo than Franz as well. I don't think it's just the $200. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But I do want to even that out more as well. And then ton of Wendell Carter, and he is a strong value play, one of the top on the model. But I don't know, that absolute ceiling just isn't there because Goga's available. So the minutes, it's hard for him to play more than this 29 minutes we haven't projected for. So I like Wendell. He is a building block for today. But if you can find other pivots to mix in, similar to what I was saying about Watford yesterday, he put up like 24 on FanDuel, which ended up being like perfect. But, Wendell Carter, I don't know. If there's a lot of good centers on the slate, he's going to have a good game to end up in there, even though, because his salary is not that cheap that it allows you to get to other builds, right? So
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
be careful with Wendell.
Yeah, I agree. I think like smaller field stuff, he's a pretty good
Yeah.
play, but
Yeah.
larger field, definitely look for pivots.
And then Cole Anthony, it's so gross. And I know he had a really good game last time, but I'm pretty comfortable playing him today. His Vegas PRA was 22 and a half, 23 and a half earlier, which if he hits that, he smashes value. So I'm doing it. How much Cole Anthony are you playing?
Yeah, right now on DraftKings I have 33%. FanDuel I have 27, so slightly under the field, but that might come up closer to lock.
Okay, I'm at 32% on DK right now. I think that's under the field, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
under the field. That might actually come up if I have to knock some of these other guys down. Dude, why is he so mad in his picture? He's so angry. I never saw that. They must have just changed that.
Oh yeah, he does look.
It's like a mad little guy. Are we at the Pelicans game yet? Yeah, we can talk about the Pelicans. Thoughts on Trey Murphy and Zion? What do you think, Smitty?
We got Washington.
Oh, we got to finish Washington. Good. That's why Smitty. That's why we keep Smitty around. DK value, Kaishan George. I hate it every day, but he's showing up as a play. Vukcevic is standing out. I think the big one was what do we do with the center situation here? Holmes versus Vukcevic. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll prefer the home side for now, even though he costs more money. But I just prefer going there. My exposures aren't wildly different. I have like 7% more homes than I do Vukovic, but they're both fine. The minutes will probably be split fairly evenly. It's just who closes. I lean Holmes, but if you lean Vukovic, then play Vukovic.
Yeah, do you did set a rule max one?
Yeah, I wouldn't play them together. And I know even on FanDuel, Vukovic is power forward eligible, but I still wouldn't play them together.
I'm well under the field on I guess Holmes I'm with the field. Vukovic I'm well under the field on DK. We'll see how that adjusts after I knock down Wendell Carter though, because this is like these are kind of the pivots, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. If I bring down Wendell, it's definitely going to give me more of them.
I'm going to mention Corey Kispert as a value GPP play. I think the price is appropriate. 3% ownership sounds pretty good. It's a little bit too low. I'm over the field on Carlton Carrington too, but the model's not into it. I think I need to adjust that. Are you getting any of him?
Yeah, I'm over as well. Assuming he don't start, then yeah, I need to bring that down a little bit.
Because I was going to say maybe he could be a pivot off Kaishan, but the model's identifying Kaishan as the best play from this team, and his ownership isn't quite there. I mean, it's so gross, dude. This guy is. I mean, he's a young player. He's going to get better, but I think he did it last time, didn't he?
I think so.
29, 29. He's been great. 4,900. I mean, if he puts up the 29, I'm not going to be disappointed. If he puts up the 36, then yeah, he's the tournament winner today. So he's fine. Model likes him. I'm playing a bunch of them too. Just going to trust the model.
Yeah, same here.
Anything else from this team? I took Jordan Poole's unders for points. He's kind of expensive. He's not really pulling the ownership, though. He's still a tournament play, but this is the worst matchup to me in the NBA, even worse than playing OKC. At least OKC plays more possessions per game.
Yeah, pretty tough to get to anyone else here. I don't hate taking a shot on Poole, but that's just tournaments only.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little over the 6%. I don't know that holds by lock, though. It probably won't. Now we can go to the next game. Let's talk about the Pelicans. So, Smitty, what are your thoughts on Trey Murphy and Zion?
Yeah, I have quite a bit of Zion right now on DraftKings. I like him on, well, both sides. I think he looks pretty good, and then I have more of him than I do Murphy, but I like both in this matchup against the Spurs. It's probably one of my favorite games, and it's not as owned as it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a close spread. It's an awesome total. I'm always wanting to get over on guys like, I guess, Trey Murphy mostly. But Zion, even though the minutes haven't been there, he's just a 2 fantasy point per minute guy now, apparently. So Spurs, no Wemby. I'm curious how like the model and other sites projections adjust for no Wemby being there, because I imagine he has a pretty large impact on their defensive rating. But
Yep.
let's see. Wizards starting Poole, Carrington, Koulibaly, Kaishan George, and Rashawn Holmes. That's probably what the model had, right?
Yeah.
I guess we didn't mention Koulibaly. He's had a string of bad games lately, but he still has that kind of ceiling. Not quite like Kamara, but kind of same. Anything else from this team, though? I mean, Kelly burned us last time. Remember, I jammed in Charles Bassey. He ended up not starting. I swapped all of it to Kelly, and he played 24 minutes, which is what we want. We only have him projected for 22 today, but he just didn't do anything. And so 18% ownership, it feels a little bit heavy, but I still think he's fine at the price.
Yeah, if he starts again, I'll still be pretty interested. Right now, I have him as starting, and I'm getting around 15%, so pretty close to the field.
I don't know. 18% just, it seems like I'd be kind of surprised if he came in at 18% owned today. And so I don't mind going back there, even though the model isn't really into it.
Yep.
Model has Jose as like a kind of borderline playable on DK. 12% ownership seems really high though for what he is. And then Makovich, he's a guy I'm keeping my eye on. I think he only played 21 minutes last game, but he was mixing in there. If he gets like an extra 5-6 minutes one time, he could pay off this price tag.
Yeah, power forward eligibility too.
And then you mentioned Misi, best Misi.
No, I didn't, but I do think he's a good pivot to some of the other center options that are getting a lot more ownership than him.
I'll mention he shows up near the top of value every day. Elite DK value, elite FanDuel value, 5K price, whatever. 3 and 1% ownership. Another guy who sometimes maybe he has a ceiling, but I don't know. The model's saying he's top of value for a reason, projected for 26 minutes. I'm not seeing it from the box scores, but the model is smarter than me, so Misi could be a flyer. Do we have stats on our Orlando Robinson starts? Pretty sure he's only started that one game this year. And if we look at it from like past years, I don't think it's that useful. Like we know he's a good fantasy producer, but they were all on different teams, different situations. Carter 5,200 versus Washington on FanDuel. It's Wendell Carter, right? How much were you getting over there?
I have to pull it up real quick. I have 26% right now.
Okay, so healthy. That's pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Wendell Carter or Okongwu? Just point out Wendell Carter is going to trump Okongwu in the model. Okongwu is still an elite play, though. The way I would look at it is Wendell Carter. I don't like using the word safe, but his floor feels a little bit better than Okongwu, where Okongwu, I think, has a 40-plus point ceiling even without Capella. I don't know that Wendell Carter has a 40-plus point ceiling on most nights with Goga available. Keldon Johnson left tonight. Spurs the next game. Spurs are this game. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's start with the Spurs. Keldon Johnson, what do you want to do?
Yeah, he's someone I don't mind taking shots on. 5K, kind of tough to get him like in terms of average projections. Like you have to do a lot in order to get him in your lineup, so probably won't be very popular. But I'm not getting there currently. I probably need to bump him up just a little bit. And then Fox is probably my favorite play from here, though.
Yep, going right back to Fox. Model loves it. 14.9 DK value at his price. Very strong. 9,700 on FanDuel. Maybe a little sticker shock. The field's still going there. If I was on FanDuel today, I'm sure that I would. 26% on DK at 8,800. I'm over this. So love De'Aaron Fox, and I'm also going back to Chris Paul. Actually, higher points per dollar value. 9.2 off index at his price is awesome. Had a terrible game last time. Really interested in this difference in ownership, so I'm also over the field on him on DK.
Yeah, same here. And then Vassell on FanDuel. I don't mind taking shots there, as well as Stephon Castle.
What about Vassell on DK at 1%, 6,600?
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. He has good positional eligibility as well.
The model has Vassell like just barely not elite for points per dollar, and on FanDuel he is an elite points per dollar play, so the 14% is actually kind of low. He's been awful, but he's better than he's been playing, so won't continue forever. We got Harrison. Model's not saying Keldon's like anything special today. The price is up. If he was like 4,500, I'd be a lot more interested. It's a GPP play. Sochan, I think the coach hates him, and the price is too high, right?
Yeah, that price is pretty crazy.
6,900. What happened here? Bismack's been starting. Bassey off the bench.
What they do. I mean, that was Bassey's first game back, so I don't know. It feels like they're just going to start Bismack, but I don't know. Maybe they change it up. But last time they ran like a 3-center rotation. It was disgusting.
Yeah, because they gave Mamu Keelishvili some minutes too, and then so with Bassey, it's 4,900. It's just a really tough price to pay because I talk about this. We're hoping he plays the minutes, and then he has to play well in those minutes, and so it's just a little bit too expensive. And FanDuel, we're taking up the center spot. I don't know if he's a play today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because he was the first one off the bench in terms of bigs, but then he was also playing blowout. So I don't know the situation there.
Stephon Castle, single digit value on both sides, 7,200 on DraftKings. What the hell happened there, dude? I didn't even see him over 6K, and now he's just 72.
Yeah, he don't even start.
Yeah, he doesn't start, which honestly, they probably should just get rid of Chris Paul at this point because this is Wemby's like running mate for the next 10 years, right? 5,600 on FanDuel, though, 9% ownership. Are you interested there?
Yeah, I don't mind getting to him on FanDuel. I think he's a pretty decent play there. Someone I'll be over the field on.
Nice. Kelly, oh, come on, man. Holmes starting, you can pivot off from Magic at center. The thing is, Rashawn Holmes is not good at basketball. Like, Rashawn Holmes, wasn't this guy out of the league for like half a season at least? If he gives us 35, yeah, we're thrilled to play him. But other than that, he's 4,800. He's just not a good play. And then while we're at it, let's take a look at Vukcevic. Vukcevic, at least he's 4K, gives him more potential to hit the ceiling. He got there in 20 minutes if he gets more than the 3-2. Because Sarr's out today. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's a big deal. Like, I'd be more interested in Vukcevic over Holmes, but I don't think you have to play one of them or the other. Even Wendell Carter, there's other payups you can get to. Just find a different roster construction.
Yep.
Is there a chance AJ Johnson gets 20 minutes? I don't know who AJ Johnson is, man.
Plays for the Bucks.
Okay. With all the guards out for Washington, I don't see why that would matter.
Maybe you don't. I don't know who AJ Johnson is.
I was going to say, like, AJ Jackson?
Yeah.
I know who that is. AJ Johnson is a player on Washington. He's played 1 minute. He's played a few games. I don't know who this person is. Yeah, sorry. I probably wouldn't consider him, though. I know he had one good game in his life, but
I think he's from the Bucks. I think he might have came over in the Middleton trade, maybe.
Okay, nice. And Middleton and Marcus Smart were also out today for the Wizards. Keldon, yeah. Well, the thing is, Keldon. So I mentioned that I think the coach hates Sochan. He hasn't been playing well, and it seems to me like if someone's hot, the coach will kind of ride that. And so Keldon did earn some extra minutes in these 2 games post Wemby. That could be a thing. Maybe we have him for 23 and a half. He played 25 and 30, so maybe we're slightly under on his minutes, but it's kind of hard to project him for more because then you just end up with too much.
Yeah.
Carter or Holmes on DraftKings. I mean, the model has Carter by quite a bit. Wendell Carter. Holmes isn't even close. Would you play CP3 and Fox together? Yeah, I'm not setting a rule for it. If I'm hand building a single entry, it's unintuitive. I probably don't do it. But if it's like last guy in and Chris Paul fits, I'm not going to avoid it. No. All right, Smitty, we got a couple more games. Talk to me about Memphis.
Yeah, 1 second. Memphis going against Cleveland. It's actually projected to be somewhat competitive, 6.5 point spread, but a really good total, 248 total. I think that's the highest on the slate, if not pretty close to it. But currently, right now on Memphis, I'm getting to the most of Vince Williams, which sounds kind of gross, but the minutes have been at 20. He's pretty productive when he's out there. I don't think this is a play I really want to be overweight on, though. I probably bring him down a little, but the model does think he's a really good value. We only have him for 19 minutes, so if he happens to run into 20, 21 minutes, then at 3,300 on DraftKings, he looks pretty good. FanDuel, a lot less likely to get there. It's just kind of hard to get to these cheap guys on FanDuel that don't have a huge ceiling. And then at the high end, I'm getting to the most of Bane on DraftKings, 7,300. Just makes the most sense. The model thinks he's really strong, 11.2 OF index. Jaren Jackson also has 11.2 OF index. Fading jaw, not really getting there. And then Santi Aldama, I'm fine getting there on DK. FanDuel, I'm not getting to as much of him.
Yeah, John Morant's been pretty bad, right? We have him for 31 and a half minutes. It's like if the model was giving us a little more indication that he was a better play, like if his DK value was just one better, or we had him projected for 2 more minutes, I mean, it's jaw at 2%. We should be interested at this cheap price. And so I think we still can have interest. Like Smitty mentioned, this is one of the highest totals of the night. But my order for the big three are Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, and John Morant in my exposures. But I'm getting more of Santi Aldama, number one on this team. I think someone in the chat mentioned Santi Aldama every night. He's been fantastic. 4,800 on DK is still a little bit too cheap. And Vince Williams, I'm getting Vince Williams. The model likes him. I'll point out he's 3,300 with a really strong value. I don't know. This is kind of a large slate. And so we kind of need a large game from him. I mean, we saw this with who was it, Killian Hayes yesterday, put up like 18. Did he end up in the winning lineup anyway?
I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. I don't know if he did. But it's like Vince Williams. I really want like 24 fantasy points if I'm playing him. He's just not going to get those minutes. And so at 20 fantasy points, sure. And I hate to talk about like, oh, he needs this to be in your lineup, whatever. But he makes lineups work. That's why he's going to be owned today. But I would try and be a little bit careful. I know he's model approved, but at 3,300, it doesn't take much. And like a 7x from Vince Williams giving us 22 fantasy points really isn't that powerful.
Yeah, because like if he scores 15, like your lineup's dead. You're not giving anything. So I think there's plenty of pivots on the slate that you can make, and they're going to come in a lot less owned.
And even if he gives you that 7x, that's 22 fantasy points on DK. Like, yeah, it helps, but it's not like, oh man, I'm going to win the GPP. Like, you still have to hit the nuts around that probably.
Yep. And then you have to beat the rest of the field as well.
Yeah, and so for smaller fields, yes, kind of similar to like Wendell Carter, awesome plays. But for large field GPPs, I'd like to find other routes. Other side of this high total game, Cleveland, modest ownership. I know they're double digits, but they are still pretty low. Models giving us everyone in the starting lineup is decent values besides Max Strus. Or who's the fifth starter? Is it Dean Wade?
Yeah.
Probably. What's your interest in Cleveland?
Currently, right now on DraftKings, I'm getting to the most of Jared Allen. I think he's a pretty strong play on both sides. FanDuel, he has power forward eligibility, so probably even better there. And then Donovan Mitchell, I think, is my favorite guard out of the two. But I'm also getting to Darius Garland. I think they're all pretty strong plays here. Just really good total, pretty tight spread. Mobley's kind of the one I'm not getting to as much of on FanDuel. Just kind of tough on the price, but on DraftKings, I like him a little bit more. And then even guys like Strus and Ty Jerome are kind of showing into my lineups. I don't mind either one of them.
I'm definitely okay mixing in Ty Jerome. Very model approved today. 1% owned. Like, this is Peyton Pritchard today. He had a blow-up game. Was it yesterday or the day before? They were, the Cavs were up by like 30, and he got the fourth quarter. But he had a good game before that, too. The big three, though, for me, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. If Jared Allen's out, Mobley's ownership is going to skyrocket, but he's going to be one of the top plays on DK at 8,200. And if Garland's out, I mentioned this before. It was different when Donovan was out, though, because like I kind of want to play the guy who doesn't play next to the starting guard. Do you think Ty Jerome would start for Darius Garland?
I don't know. They've been pretty hesitant to start him, so I'm not really sure. They could have Donovan run the point and then play like a Sam Merrill or something like that. I could see that.
Yeah, they could do that. And if Donovan's running the point, he's already one of our favorite GPP plays today at 8,400. I mean, 11.7 OF index is pretty great, even though it's not quite at that 14 DK value we want. The ownership is low, 8,400. I think he should be more expensive.
Yeah.
And then if these guys are out, people are going to look at Mobley and Donovan. But DeAndre Hunter should be in line for a few more minutes. He's only been playing about this 25, but I want to say that he's had potential to close if they needed it. So he could get up to maybe 28, 29, but he might get slightly forgotten. And you mentioned Sam Merrill. If he starts, he's just a GPP play, kind of like Isaiah Joe, right?
Yeah, I agree. You're just hoping he gets hot and hits a few threes.
We saw a question here. Royce O'Neal is starting for Phoenix. They just put that out. Booker, Beal, O'Neal, Durant, Nick Richards is still starting.
We got an updated Wizards.
Yeah,
Champagne.
Yeah, Wizards are starting Champagne. Let's take a minute and we'll go back to that. Let's talk about OKC, Minnesota. My goal is to get out of here in about 4 minutes. We'll see if that actually happens. For OKC, though, I'm only getting 1% of Jalen Williams on DK. I don't know that I'm interested in too much, maybe outside of Chet. From the value guys, I think we can find value elsewhere. What do you think?
Yep, that's exactly where I'm at. I have 1% of Jalen Williams, and I'm not really interested in anybody else. If you want to take a shot on SGA, then I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we know SGA probably has the highest ceiling on the slate since Giannis is limited, but it's just tough. I don't know if we have to get there today. I mean, it's a 8.5 point spread. Minnesota is not a pushover. 228 totals, okay, much lower than the other game, but these guys have some ceiling potential. Other side, Minnesota. I like Naz Reid. 7,800 seems fine to me. 10% ownership. I don't care that it's against OKC. He's been fantastic with no Rudy Gobert, so I want to get there. And then I'm taking tournament shots on Anthony Edwards. DK value elite, FanDuel value elite, and he's one of the most expensive players, so really like him over there.
Yep. I'm overweight on Anthony Edwards as well. And then, like you said, Naz Reid looks really good. Jaden McDaniels' price is up, but I still don't hate if he comes into a few lineups of mine. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I don't hate, but the price is also up. So mainly just a GPP play. This whole team's really just tournament plays.
Yeah. And I mean, I say I like Naz Reid a lot. He's a tournament play because he could easily put up like 26 and destroy our lineups tonight, but very, very model approved, like getting over on him and Ant. And yes, Smitty mentioned Jaden McDaniels. I like Jaden McDaniels, even though the price is up. He's, I don't know, I guess kind of that Tumani Kamara mold, the way that he gets there.
Yeah. Yeah. And this game's not on FanDuel, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's, I should have just played FanDuel. I didn't know that. I was like so annoyed I have to sit around for 2 hours, but I mean, we do it every day anyway.
Yep.
I was going to look at, all right, who's your top value play on DK? Give me two.
Let's see. With the info we have right now, I guess Wendell Carter Jr. and Cole Anthony.
Yeah, same for me. I need to rerun, but I'm pretty sure I'm still going to have a bunch of those guys. I'm over the field on Niang.
Yep.
I'm over the field on Vince Williams right now. I don't know that I'll keep that. Over the field on Kaishan.
I think I'd rather just play like Champagne now. How much is he?
Yeah, let's
He's
refresh
3,800. So
let's take a quick look at Washington.
Power forward.
I don't know if this is going to update in time. Champagne, top value on Washington. Remember, when he starts, dude, this is the best play on the slate. I don't know. I think of him as 34 minutes, and he's going to give us 30-plus fantasy points when Kuzma's not on the court, and Kuzma's not in Washington anymore.
Yep.
He's 3,800, dude. I mean, minutes have not been there, but if he gets the minutes, this is probably my favorite value play. I'm not saying he's going to be my highest exposed, but this is the guy I'm most interested in getting over the field on. This is definitely coming up, but it's kind of close to lock. It's Sunday. There's no more football, but I still can't imagine people are swapping optimally. So Champagne, I love him. Yeah. Are you going to bump down wait, who's not starting? Carrington?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and cross him out. And then are you adjusting anyone else that's in that starting lineup?
No, I'm not.
Okay, nice. Let's build a super quick dummy. I think we're going to start with Champagne. We'll put in Wendell Carter and Cole Anthony. Who else do we got in here, Smitty?
We could go with Bradley Beal.
We'll do Brad Beal. Should we put R.J. Barrett or Dyson Daniels or Zion?
I like Dyson.
We'll do Dyson. The price came down. It's very nice.
Small forward.
I do like Kelly O. Let's try D Fox. See if we can do that. So leaves us 7,300 for 2 positions. It's pretty good. Donovan Mitchell. Can't fit him anymore. Does Beal have small forward? Beal does have small forward. So we'll put in Donovan, slide Beal to small forward. Yeah, we really don't need that value. I mean, 2 5K guys and Champagne is enough to get. We're paying up for Mitchell, Fox, Dyson Daniels, and we're still getting Bradley Beal with enough to get a 6,200 guy. And I don't know, probably got to move something around, but it's a pretty solid base. I mean, I'm getting a Kongu in there too. I kind of want to adjust that though. It's too much. And Trae Young, another pay up option. Do you have any final words before we get out of here, Smitty?
No. Just be prepared for Cleveland news, and that's pretty much it.
If Garland's out, are Ty and Donovan viable together? Yes. I'd like it better if Ty Jerome's off the bench.
Yep.
AJ Johnson is not in the NBA today. Good to know. Did Allen miss shoot around? I missed it. Sorry. Max 1, Mobley, Allen. Maybe today. I don't think I hate it. And do we like Olynyk? The model likes Olynyk. I'm going back to him. I hope his ownership comes in less than it's showing. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to sign up for the site, it's $1 a day. We have options on there. Jayhawk's in the Discord right now doing another 20 minutes of some strategy discussion. Instructions to join that are in the description below.